What's going on, good and bad people? In this video, I'm here to talk to y'all about the androgenization of our culture. So in the recent videos, y'all been hearing me talk about Baphomet, but I realized that some of y'all is probably young. A lot of y'all is greatly influenced by this culture and these modern times. Now, I'm 26 and I've seen a lot of this life shit kind of just go in a very cyclical manner. And I realized, damn, even if a motherfucker was born in 2010, you 16 and you searching the internet and you in this world just like everybody else. So yeah, I'm Gen Z, and Gen Z basically goes from 1997 to 2012, basically like 15-year periods for each generation. But I know I'm very well probably talking to y'all that's either born in the 90s, some of y'all in the 80s, all the way up into 2010, probably at the most. But yeah, basically Baphomet, that symbol is a symbol of androgyny, and that's a symbol of balance. Now, androgyny is this. I wish I had the definition off the top of my head, but you can see it's some like a mixture of genders, basically maybe just not conforming to a certain gender. But yeah, it's basically more of a mixture of the genders, masculine and feminine, somebody that has traits of both. You might have a woman that has very like tomboyish, dykish features, traits about her. You might have a dude that's still straight, but he got a certain feminine flair to him and his energy and his approach to life. Now, the reason that this shit is how it is modern day and it's such a mixture of genders and you got LGBTQ all out here and it's just so much going on in American culture with sexual identity and people just going in ways that's way less traditional, way more non-conformist ways. That's the androgenization of our culture, and it's a psyop. It's especially a psyop for you to not understand Baphomet science, for you to not understand what that symbol means, what it really interprets. And yeah, I just want to basically make all this shit clear, wrap it all up in one nice video for y'all to really understand and break down. So the androgenization of our culture, that's basically like men acting like women and women acting like men. Now this shit happened all from the feminist movement and women getting the rights to vote, women being in the workforce, like all that shit that basically make women to be on an equal playing field as men in this society. Now it's all good. I don't got nothing against it. And I feel like, yeah, women should be able to work and vote and participate in this society to the same degree as a man. But of course that would come with everything else. Basically, now we got so many little hidden standards and things in this world, things in the dating field, women not liking men, men not liking women. So there's a gender war at the same time. Like it's literally made for you to hate women. If you're a man watching me, if you're a woman, it's literally made out here for you to hate men in so many forms. But at the same time, we all want a nice traditional man or woman in our life. But we're, as a culture, drifting so far from traditional behavior, from traditional ways of being, from traditional identification, from, yeah, man goes to work, woman stays home and raises the family and cooks and cleans. Nah, you got the woman at work and you got the man staying at home and raising the family in certain cases. Or you got women being the breadwinner in certain relationships. So, yeah, that's all the androgenization of our culture. Basically, everything out here has been made to like make us weaker, make us less powerful, make us more ignorant, and make us more confused. Because I'm all for power. I'm all for power and control. So for you to control your life, if you're a woman and this means go out here and get money, be strong, be independent, then go out here and do that. If you a man and for your power in a certain situation means to lessen your dominant masculine frequency and fit in and adapt and play a little bit of a feminine submissive role in whatever field, shape, case, or scenario, then do that shit. But y'all gotta know that the androgenization, like I said, is here to make us more confused and to make us weaker. But the shit targets the youth. This shit targets the younger generations. So probably some of y'all watching right now, it's just more confusion for you to fall into. Basically, they are making everyone more like a Baphomet. You like a walking Baphomet and not even knowing it. You very in tune with all sides of yourself. Yet you afraid of that image. You afraid of the image of Baphomet, or at least they're programming you to be afraid of that image. That symbol basically represents us in the flesh. That symbol represents you, because we are all an androgynous soul. Our mind is masculine and feminine, but there's a role to play in society for this shit to function and grow and prosper in a certain direction. If they got you confused and ignorant and weak and not knowing your power, not knowing thyself, you already, oh my God, it's a lot that they've done to control this society. So, y'all know me. Y'all know my content. It's all about freeing your mind, but it's also been about making the right decisions for yourself. So I try to steer y'all in a direction of truth. And it's like, no matter who you are, no matter what you're doing, but just know that the androgenization of our society, that's what affects the dating field. So let me just talk to my men real quick. The women that y'all are dealing with in this world is way more masculine and logical than they naturally would be. For one, just the evolution of life in this world. That's why, okay, I really gotta tell y'all that I don't believe in history past the 1900s. And I had to like come to a clear definition in my head of where I stand on all this. And if you take everything back to 1913, the start of the Federal Reserve banking system. This is basically the beginning of globalization. As history tells it, in 1776 is when America became independent. And that's when the patriots in America was just as free and here and just, yeah, motherfucking American power. No ties from Britain, no ties with no other nations. We is just straight America. And ever since then, ever since 1776, then everything was slowly being eroded. Everything was slowly being infiltrated. America, y'all may not know it, but that's how history goes. And I kind of don't want to get too much into the history of all of this shit because it's kind of just conjecture. So the reason I say 1913 is the place to start is because that's when the Federal Reserve System was created. And then in the early 1900s, that was the meeting of Jekyll Island. That's when all of the billionaires that we know modern day that started the fucking industrial system, railroad, steel corporations, that's when they all met in the 1900s, Jekyll Island. So it's like everything else since then has been what, World War I, World War II, then America just got their hands in everything else around this world. So it's like in the past 120 years, there's been so much change worldwide with America randomly being the epicenter of it. So that's why I don't really believe in a lot of history past the 1900s. It's too many conspiracy theories. It's too many like phantom timeline possibilities. When I say phantom timeline, basically like a false, fake history, and that's just been placed 1,000 years earlier. It's all type of conspiracy theories about this shit. So we got to just look at what's going on modern day. So yeah, basically, it's very easy to realize that like once you kind of cross history out of your brain, then you can just take everything that's happened in modern day and see why they are doing what they're doing. Why would they be androgenizationing the whole culture? Why would they want men to act feminine? Okay, and y'all know this shit. Like, I'm taking it from a very deep level because I love to lay out the background, but y'all know this shit. Y'all know that men is acting way more feminine than ever before. Niggas is painting their nails, wearing purses. At some point in time, we all started wearing tight jeans, shit that's hugging our legs. It's like, goddamn, we done all fucking went into the whole fashion and culture and tradition of how this shit goes. So even women working jobs and voting, like I said, that shit started in the 50s and 60s, maybe even the 40s. What is it called? Women's suffrage movement. Why is it called suffrage? I don't know. But yeah, the suffrage movement. And then, yeah, got women working, got boss female bosses, all type of shit. Women just being able to make money. And then they standards of a man goes higher. They standards of what they expect a man to be doing goes higher. So then, of course, a bunch of women, and when it comes to dating, they just filter up to the highest and top percentages of men that's making the most money, that's the most popular, that's the most known. Then a lot of y'all men right now could possibly be suffering when it comes to dating. Or y'all might have a relationship, y'all might just be going through different talking phases and women ain't fucking with you, or you know that you're scared to talk to girls because you know they ain't on shit modern day, but it's not that they ain't on shit. They just own the top percentage of niggas in this world. So that's that. And it all stems from this backwardsness, this unnatural way that we live in this world. But I want to kind of catch y'all up to it. So that's why the Baphomet frequency is good, because it kind of helps you to have psychic defense against this whole system, against everything that's taking place in this unnatural world. So society itself is already unnatural. Government rule is already unnatural. But for a sinister government to be in control of a domain of citizens, it's in their best interest to confuse and flip their minds around as to how the gender roles was working in a traditional standard way. Oh my God. Okay, so yes, it's in their best interest to do that. If women and men was in this world, in America and all around the world, for instance, before LGBTQ came in, before everything just got so androgenized, if man goes to work, if man makes the money, if man brings home the money and helps raise and build up his family and build up his community, then everybody can live strong. Everybody can be good. Women play their role in helping raise the kids. They cook, they clean, they keep the house good. Women get together and have meetings. This is like in a perfect society, in a perfect governmental society that everybody is basically trying to get back to. That's basically what everybody is fucking trying to diagnose the problems in the world. Everybody is mad at this. Everybody's trying to find a solution. Yeah, because everybody's trying to really get back to traditional ways of being and make America great again, however the fuck that looks to whoever. But let's just take it from an instance where that's how shit was. Women was raising the families, men was going out working hard, got motherfucking camaraderie amongst men. They manly, they strong, they got all kind of testosterone pumping through their veins. And then, yeah, life just goes. So then, okay, where does it even start? The psychedelic movement, for one, oh, now it gets freaky. Now it gets freaky. Now it gets freaky. Because the psychedelic movement, it really just turned everyone into this. It really just turned everyone into Baphomets. Because naturally and spiritually, we don't align with a controlled, systematic, structured society. Naturally, that shit doesn't exist. Naturally, it's not real. So the more that you take psychedelics, the more that you take acid, mushrooms, the more that your brain starts to just go away from what this society is telling you to do, the more that you wake up and tap in and reach enlightenment. And there's a reason that this is what it is, because it is only that. It is that middle point. It is that balance. It is that pure, wholesome understanding of what we are doing on this planet. Again, it's the medium, the meditate, the mediate. It's the medicine. That's what medicine is. It returns you back to homeostasis, returns you back to balance. So that's what this symbol represents. And that's what happens when you take psychedelics. So man, oh man. But that's the thing. Mushrooms have been in existence for all of time. So that kind of allows me to follow the historical timeline just a little bit more. But actually, no, it doesn't, because they could always just create a random timeline and say psychedelics was found in this nation. Oh, this native tribe was using psychedelics in the fucking 8 BC. So it's like, yeah, they could always just say that. But one thing we know is that the psilocybin mushroom is here and natural on Earth. And it is something that you take that shit and you tap in. You reach different levels of consciousness. And then acid came in the Albert Hoffman, the German or the Swiss scientist, he created LSD in the early 1940s. So then that shit was a big player in World War II. And then after World War II, all of the Nazis and German scientists that lost the war in World War II came over to America, and then they started teaming up with the American scientists. Then LSD was actually made, and it was something that like pharmacies could tap in with. It was something that like, yeah, anybody could have and share and use and experiment with. And it wasn't until the whole psychedelic movement in the 50s and 60s that they decided to say, nah, this shit is illegal. This shit is a Schedule II drug, no benefit, fucking room for addiction. No, we cannot sell this to the people. We cannot get this drug to the people. Same thing with mushrooms, same thing with weed. Then you got Ronald Reagan coming in and the war on drugs, or maybe he was the war on terror. But either way, I think Bush was the war on terror. Ronald Reagan was definitely the war on drugs. But y'all see this shit, y'all get this shit, y'all know what's going on, and maybe you don't. So let me educate you. Let me tell you the real shit that's going on. Because the androgenization of our culture is actually real. I started this video off with a premise of really I'm just letting you know about it, but y'all see it. Y'all know it, but you got to know it's a psyop of how much it's pushed, but you got to know that they confuse you and just don't let you know the truth. Baphomet is the truth. That's exactly why they steer you away from that and make you fearful and scared of that image. They program you with Christianity. They make you go to the light. They make you follow what's good. You got to go to the dark. You got to go to the ugly. You got to go to the rare. You got to go to the shit that's just, yeah, it ain't popular, because that's what's going to be the truth. That's what's going to get you to really come to the understanding of life and this game and what you're doing. And of course, that is the symbol of Baphomet right here. I am going to make a full video about it, a full breakdown going through my notes. That's coming soon, but just had to let y'all know, had to tap y'all in as far as all of this shit goes, the androgenization of our culture. So you got to stay strong regardless. And strength is always going to be your saving grace. Because when I really think about it, like, homosexuals play a really big role in this world. Like, all of the talk about masculinity, or all of the talk about having babies, or a woman, you know, being a mother, it's like, but what about the LGBTQ? Like, they're just here and they just exist, and they got their whole, what they stand for, they got their whole movement, what they represent, and ain't nobody trying to force nothing, no other crazy standards upon them, other than to either just not be gay. But we didn't accept them in this world. So it's like, why are you trying to tell a straight person what to do? That's the programming, that's the psyop. But the androgenization of our culture is part of the LGBTQ movement, and it only is here to weaken us and confuse us and make us stupid and passive, and that just allows the government to be stronger. Notice I ain't talking about no money, because this shit all has spiritual effects. It has mental effects on our behavior, on our thoughts, on our beliefs, on how our society operates. The money was the first thing that trapped us all into this system. Money was the first thing that trapped us all into this system. And then the fact that shit, men was going out and working, women was at home raising the kids. Shit, World War II came about. They said all of the men had to go out to war. They said women was helping. America was just all together. Women was working in the factories. They was preparing meals for the soldiers. America was just super together and on point during the World War II era. Then World War II ended, the war ended, America won the war. The baby boom generation was born in the 50s. So all of them people that was living in just full American prosperity in the 50s after World War II ended, then the baby boom happened. Basically, everybody was having babies because American traditionalists was up. It was full on men and women, full femininity, full masculinity. You got fucking black culture, white culture, just strong Americanness going on. Shit, TVs coming out, microwaves coming out. And that shit really only lasted for about 10, 12 years max, because then the psychedelic movement came. When people started taking LSD, it woke everybody up. Life and history has never been the same, and it's all been uncovered and unveiled ever since. Then America had to do what? Create more proxy wars. I just said proxy, but it probably is really a proxy war. But Vietnam, motherfucking Korean War, motherfucking Afghanistan. And when I say proxy, basically Money is a proxy modern day for truth. Money is a fake version of truth. So I'm saying that proxy war because it's a fake war. It's a propaganda war that you just need to get citizens wrapped up into. And that's what's going on in modern day. A proxy war. I really am going to look up the term proxy to see if I'm using that shit correctly. But yeah, they just got to get your attention in this world. They just got to get you wrapped up into it. The LGBTQ is worldwide, so the androgenization of fucking the world has happened right under our noses. And it's okay because that shit is just spiritually the answer. And spiritual androgyny is the answer. Nigga, you gonna get old. You gonna be weak. You gonna need help. All that toughness, all of that strength is gonna dissipate one day. So that's what it is. That's what we all come to. Old men is feminine in their actions, and they really just spiritual, but they feminine because they can't do as much masculine, tough, hard shit as a young man can do. But we all gonna fucking reach that day. So this shit is the answer. I swear to God on that. And the more that I talk about it, the more that I say it, I know it to be very clear. Again, I've been tapping in with this for about 5 years now. I had to wait a long time before it was time to reveal and share the truth about what this symbol represents and what it means and how it's a template for shadow work. Again, the symbol was created in the 1800s, not the 1700s, but the late 1800s. And that fucking really goes real in depth about the potential beginning of our timeline worldwide, world fucking wide. Because, yeah, the 1800s is very suspect. Anything could have happened in the 1800s. History is written by the victors. So, yes, whoever won the wars in the 1800s, whatever stories that we know, that shit was all written by the victors. History worldwide, we really don't know the truth about it. Anything, there's any possibility, any potentiality. I promise you this, I swear to God, of this. But what we do know is that this symbol allegedly came out in the 1800s by Euphrates Levi. So it was just depicting us as souls on this planet. And so many other things came out in the fucking early 1900s, the Kabbalion. But really, I got a fucking confirmation bias to this whole point of view of the 1900s kind of being the real start of our timeline. And anything prior to that, we really don't know how real it is. But man, oh man, I'm just here to free y'all mind. I'm just here to free y'all mind. Again, the androgenization, I ain't even talked about it, but female rap, that's huge. How masculine they approach life. It's all just the act. They all just acting. So the media just influences you. The media just influence you to think a certain way, to live a certain way, to control your behavior, especially to the women modern day and to the men that's dealing with the women modern day that gotta deal with the cause and effect of the rap and the music and the media and all of the TikTok and all of the standards of how they should be living their life is now affecting you and your dating life. And then don't get me started on all of the heartbreak music that you got to listen to, all of the R&B, all of the sad crying music, niggas crying about women and heartbreak and all type of shit, all type of music that's just like, what's the point? I really don't listen to a lot of music modern day other than my own, and I got some songs coming out. But man, it really does get to a level where it's like, what's the point of talking about what you're talking about? It's the same thing. And I get it. Most people just don't know. Most people just not aware. So yeah, I'm here to put y'all on game. I promise that. I'm here to put y'all on game. I feel like there's some more points that I could hit on, man, but just know everything's a psyop. The toxic food, the media, everything is a goddamn psyop. The low rates of testosterone, pornography in men's life is like everything is just here to have your ass weak and docile. That's the word I ain't said in a minute. Docile. That's their goal, is to have you docile and confused and acting like a weaker version of yourself or an unnatural version of yourself if you a woman. If you're a woman, they want you docile, confused, and acting like an unnatural version of yourself. And if you're a man, they want you docile, confused, and acting like a weak version of yourself. I love y'all. Stay godlike.